I'm not gonna lie, I'm in a shitty mood because my last video was the first to bomb since I changed my algorithm theories after like a win streak of 6, so if I seem mildly more abrasive to y'all dumbass motherfuckers, that's why. Who wants to see me lose my shit for 5 minutes? Wait, should I get rid of the original character? I feel like people are just gonna make fun of me if I talk about cringe when I have like, yeah, alright, let's, ha! Every single fanbase has a toxic element to it. The only reason you see it in some and not others is due to popularity increasing the chance of coverage. The use of the phrase, the fanbase is toxic, is also an egregious use of the term, because if you're going to associate a group of people with a term, that term would only be accurate if it was over 50%. However, in the instance of toxicity that people refer to as examples, when you look closely, barely make up even 5% of the people who refer to themselves as fans. Don't believe me? Oh yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, look at Bojack Horseman. That's a pretty smart show that has a lot of similarities with Rick and Morty, but I mean, look at the differences in fan bases. You'd never see this level of stupid out of Bojack Horseman's fan base. Oh no. Oh no. Is there a more psychologically complex and emotionally nuanced character in modern TV than Bojack Horseman? Toilet idiot, shallow of mind and thought, Trump is Voldemort. Me, a towering intellectual. Bojack Horseman is me. And if you think that's a parody, honestly, I don't know. The Twitter account doesn't seem to be a joke, and this was February 2nd, 2017, well before this comment, which need I remind you, our earliest instance of this comment appearing is on r/cringeanarchy. How can you be self-aware enough about cringe to go on a cringe subreddit while still being cringy yourself? This comment was a parody, an immense exaggeration of people at most being somewhat uppity about liking a certain show. And it's funny and well written, right? But please stop using it as an example of toxicity. It doesn't fucking count. God damn it, PewDiePie. This video isn't just pent up frustration against the only thing I don't like about PewDiePie, I swear. Ugh, at least it's mostly in the pursuit of comedy, and rarely attacks the fanbase, so I can't be too hard on it, but I'll get to that in a moment. Anyway, my point is that if you look for it, you can find this in anything. Like, let's go really obscure. How about Hunter x Hunter? Weird shipping, check. Elitism, check. Weird actually, maybe let's not show that on the screen though. The irony is, in order to find this stuff, you have to wade through pages of mundane posts and do specific word searches for superior and nuanced. It takes a long time to find this stuff, and you know why? Because I had to filter out the actual fandom. More popularity equals more crazies and more people to find those crazies, but there are still greater proportions of the mundane stuff, and they're part of the fandom too. They just don't get publicized because, you know, why would they? And that's not even mentioning the beautiful and tasteful works of the fandom that are never gonna be shown in a hit piece. I shouldn't say hit piece. I'm sure a lot of people just aren't paying attention when they say this shit, but... Oh, hey, ready for me to blow your mind? Ready? DeviantArt, search, Sonic. Yeah, no, I'm not really seeing anything here. Even if I go to new, there's not much. Bit of shitty art, couple edgy, that one's just generally creepy, what the fuck? Anyway, let me put this in perspective. In I Hate Everything's video on the subject, he gave a story about some cringy fan seeing his shirt and without any attempt at good conversation, just obnoxiously shouted, wubba lubba dub dub. My question is this, how many other people have also walked up to you and been like, hey man, nice shirt? Probably plenty, but that would never make it into a video on the subject, now would it? Because I know you give that example about the hipster band or something next, but I highly doubt both this obscure thing and the giant popularity of Rick and Morty both resulted in only one instance of shirt complimenting. There either had to have been more, or you wore this shirt for 5 minutes. Extremes are engaging, that's all it boils down to. It's just like a play, when something stands out, it gets the spotlight. At a certain level of popularity, there's enough publicized cringy shit to form your entire association on something. Suddenly you forget the mundane and remember the horrifying. The fandom is cringe. That's how you get that phrase. It sounds accurate when you hear it, but it's just not. Like, fucking... Take a second to realize that every other assumedly Rick and Morty fan in this video is uncomfortably silent. I mean, haven't you ever been to a big city before and been like, wow, there are a lot of crazies here, as you struggle to wade through the dense crowds of people? It's the same concept, you don't notice that which is not extreme. It also kind of reminds me of school shooters and the media's reaction like 5 years back, whatever. Every time a school shooting seemed to happen, video games were always to blame, and the mainstream audience who didn't care for video games lapped it up, never even considering just how many other gamers were out there who didn't commit such atrocious acts. Why? Because the extremes got coverage and stood out. All of a sudden, gamers are school shooters. Now there are seemingly a couple of exceptions to popularity resulting in toxic fandoms, but all of these are just, again, because they haven't been publicized yet. In the case of Harry Potter, for instance, it was hyped in the public eye well before this whole fandom fucking nonsense thing came about, but I could absolutely make this fandom out to be cringy if I wanted to. Ever heard of Quidditch? It's like a weird football hybrid actual sport where people run around with brooms between their legs. It looks fucking stupid. Now, just for clarification, I'm very much open to weird shit, and as long as you don't actively and directly infringing on people's human rights, I won't hold it against you, but I'm just trying to say, it looks cringe, people think it's cringe, and if a big YouTuber decided to spotlight this as well as other Harry Potter related cringe, the fanbase would absolutely start to be associated with this. Same goes for Game of Thrones. Take a look at the book elitist, or Game of Thrones themed weddings. The cringe and toxicity is out there, you just have to find it. You know how Pickle Rick is this stupid running joke that people say trying to be funny, but just use it as no more than a reference?
The one thing I've always wanted to ask you for years is, Hodor?
Hodor.
That's it.
Hodor is the exact same fucking thing. People just say it without any pretense of a joke because they suck at comedy. Newsflash, that's not exclusive to any one fandom! What I'm willing to compromise on is that certain traits bring out certain minorities. That at the very least is true, and provided you found better terminology, I'd be okay with people saying that. Just please don't say the fandom is bad, because that implies over 50% when you're probably only talking about 5% at most. If you simply can't separate your association of a fandom from the minority, and you know that, that's fine, you can't help it. The truth is, every competitive game will have rages, but you won't notice the literal 9 other people in any given league game. Every kid-friendly game will have cringy kids, but you won't notice the mature ones who don't scream in voice chat. Every show that has a left-leaning diversity push will bring radical feminists, but you won't notice the ones that don't try to shove their beliefs down your throat. And every game with non-human characters will have weird porn. It's just how this plays out, and people interpret it in a dodgy way. It's just a dumb, pointless argument that makes no sense and shouldn't be taken seriously. But I guess I can't be too hard on it. Honestly, a lot of the jokes are in jest and really funny, and you know what? I like that part. But there's a small minority of people that I have some actual gripes with. To use their own phrasing, the toxic fandom is a toxic fandom. When I see people denouncing or aggressively condemning whole fandoms, it just sounds like the very elitism you struck out to criticize. There's just this weird air of cockiness to some people's treatment of this topic. I mean, is this just a power trip? Do you think you can feel like you're better than a giant group of people just because you strawman them with the minority? Plot twist, you are that minority! As I say, if there's any merit to this fandom nonsense, it's that it created some fantastic running jokes, so maybe because of that, I don't really want any of this to change. Besides, I know better than to try and control the internet, but I just want people to know, you know? As long as I feel like this video has gotten out to enough people and that most are self-aware enough when they make these jokes, honestly, that's good enough for me.